morning. We are leaving Christiansø. We had an interesting night of fun with the mainsail, so we'll see if we get it out today or not. I think it's going to be fine. So the wind seems okay. I mean, we've got true wind speed is 12 knots at the moment, so it should be enough to sail. So yeah, we don't have to motor all the way, and then tomorrow the winds will pick up. So yeah, get as much sailing in as we can today, maybe.
Across the channel down to Jersey, channelI.
Yeah.
So we're sailing along now, in between Christiansø and Sweden, doing 6.4 knots more or less in what's the wind speed? 13 knots. Full sail up. We're really doing well now. The main sheets come out, the main sails come out absolutely fine. So yeah, unfortunately yesterday while we were playing with the main sheet I lost one of the German main sheet systems on the port side, so it went through the track and I lost it, and it's really hard to get back through, so I've done a quick fix. If you can see that, I've tied the main sheet to the port cleat, and then I'm using the starboard main sheet to control the sail, which is fine, but we need to fix it at some point. Sail seems to be doing fine, even though we broke a batten. But hopefully the battens aren't too expensive, so I'll just slide a new one in.
Which batten was it? The longest?
Yeah.
But they're not expensive. Cheapest
What do they make of?
cheapest part of the sail. Huh?
What are they?
Fiberglass, I think, or plastic.
That was like a
Plastic.
fiberglass composite.
So it's flexible
Yeah.
into some certain degree.
That's the first. Yeah, it's not I'm looking at it.
Hello, mate. You made a friend, honey. You made a friend in the boat?
What's in the
How cool is that?
What's in the leak? Must be a problem with all the names, just have it.
This is exactly why the AIS is useful. It's just spotted that ship just come out of the fog. It's less than a mile away, like the visibility is only about a mile. Winds come back. This is Tanja with all the gear on. Trying to get it off as fast as she can so she can be.
Stop it!
Not nice. Motoring, the wind is straight on the nose at about 25 knots. We just had a bit of a scary situation, didn't we?
Guys,
Lessons learned.
Yeah.
guys,
All lessons learned.
guys, champagne or a beer?
A beer. We came into this little harbour called Christiansø, I think. And yeah, you can see by the lines what we did there. It's 20 knots. We came in and we didn't plan ahead. wasn't enough ropes out, there wasn't enough fenders out. We should have planned ahead and got all them out ready. And I tried to turn the boat into this dock, so we were coming in like this, but then the wind was so strong that I couldn't hold it there, and we kept getting blown off, and then we ended up in this very small channel here, and trying to control a 40-foot boat in 20-25 knots of wind with a bow thruster and just speed alone was it was too much. It was a very scary experience, and it shouldn't have happened, and we need to do better, but we've learnt by it, and yeah, we'll prepare for next time. What made it worse was the fact that over there the depth sounder went to 1.8 meters. So if we'd have lost the rudder down there as well, it wouldn't have been good times. It's a real learning experience these last few days, and I'm seriously getting quite tired from it, but we're getting there. We're doing better and better each time, but we need to plan ahead. We need to do better. But still, the boat's fine. We got it in, we've got a load of ropes on. It's blowing like hell. But yeah, gonna have a beer now, have some food, try again tomorrow. I think it's blowing again really hard, so we'll have to see how it goes. But yeah, it's a testing few days, that's for sure, and it's a big learning curve. Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. Sorry I've been away for a few weeks. I've been traveling to the US, to Chicago for a little bit. Been busy with work basically, and trying to catch up with home things all together. So, sorry I'm speaking a little bit quiet. Tanya's in bed and I'm trying to record this while she's asleep. So yeah, but we'll try and get down to it. So let's take a brief pause and just discuss a little bit what happened. So it went a little bit like this, right? When I moved into the dock, let's imagine this is the boat coming into the dock now, right? I came in like this, took a wide angle around here. And these are all buoys dotted in here inside the docking area. And my plan was to come along here, bearing in mind the wind's blowing from this direction at 20 knots, is come along here and just turn the boat in, right, like this. And then get it docked in like that. For the experienced ones out there, you know that this is never going to happen in a million years like that, unless you're doing like 6 knots or something, and then you stop the boat very fast and someone jumps off very fast with a line, right? In reality, what happened when we came in is I tried to do this turn, and I ended up more or less like this, with the bow like this and the stern coming out again, because you cannot get the stern in like that. You cannot do a turn just like you can with a powerboat or something, a slide stop. The boat just won't do that with the keel. It will basically pivot on the keel, and then you'll stop, and then you'll just slowly drift out. As the wind pushes you out, the bow will go out like this, and then you'll end up in a bit of a mess down the harbour like this. Basically, I ended up in that situation and ended up turning around and fighting against the wind here, and I ended up in this area down in the shallow end of the harbour, which wasn't great at all. The depth sounder went down to 1.8 meters there, which is pretty much, I guess we were just a few centimeters off the bottom, to be honest. So what we ended up doing actually was going up like this, and it wasn't really planned, and by luck there was someone on the dock here ready to get some lines.
We passed the guy one line off the bow, and then we ended up hanging off the dock like this, basically in the wind. Right? At that point, you know, we could sort ourselves out, reassess, and I actually got a long line out. I ran it from the back of the boat over here, and I ran that to the shore, and I actually winched the back of the boat in, like this. As I was winching it, we just winched the boat into the side, and then that kind of worked. As you can see from the diagram on the chart plotter, it wasn't as simple as that. There was a lot of messing about beforehand, and to be honest, it was a really, really scary situation, and I do not want to go through that again. What may have worked better, I actually think that this was a pretty good plan, going up against here and then getting someone off with a bow line and just anchoring the bow on, and then the boat can just sit here and swing in the wind like this. What may have been a better idea, actually, because the problem is when I was coming up here, it's very, very difficult for me at the back to assess when the front of the boat is going to hit the dock and when the person at the front can actually get off the boat, especially when the wind's blowing so hard and you can't hear the person in the front. So what may have worked better, actually, is if I took the boat in actually a bit like this, stopped the boat into wind like so, waited for the bow to come around with the wind coming this way. The bow's just going to sit there and you're just going to drift with the wind, and then put it in hard reverse with the stern platform down, hard reverse with someone on the back with a line there, and so you can just reverse up, back it in, and then stop it at your convenience right next to the dock there, so someone can just step off with a line and then basically just wrap a line around there. Then the boat, once the line is around the stern port cleat, I think the boat will sit more or less a little bit like this, and then you've got all the time in the world, as long as you're on that cleat, you've got all the time in the world when the boat's just hanging there off the wind, and someone can just get a really long line from the front, and then you can just pull the boat in like that. It might take a bit of winch power and a bit of strength of some kind, but I think that would have probably been the best in that situation. Let me know in the comments if you think differently, guys, but we really went through a learning curve there. The main problem is that when we came into this harbour, we were just getting out the lines at this point, and we're in the harbour with 20 knots of wind, and this is more or less to scale with the boat. There was not a lot of room. Okay, the boat was a little bit smaller maybe, but there was not a lot of room in that harbour to move at all. And it was a really scary situation. If we ended up over here in the shallow and we lost a rudder here, it would have ended up banging against the dock over here and we would have been aground. That would have been a major, major problem. So, it's all about preparations, guys. We learned that the hard way. Before you get to this point, before you come in the dock, make sure that all of your fenders are out. All of the fenders, all of the lines are ready. Everybody has a plan. Everybody knows what's going to happen, what to do. I've heard from another guy as well. I've been watching a few videos on docking that even if there's guys along the dock and whatever shouting at the captain or the crew what to do, listen to the skipper. In this case, I've got to be honest, I was a little bit inexperienced, and let's just move this up a little bit. Yeah, I've got to be honest, I was a little experienced, and I just needed that little bit of extra experience in the strong wind, if I'm honest. That only comes with time, but a little bit of training would have helped, actually. I had some great training in Croatia, but turns out I was a little rusty, and yeah, still got a lot to learn, that's for sure. Cheers for watching, guys. Almost at 200 subscribers now. That's awesome. Really proud of where this channel has come. It's not a lot of subscribers, but I'm really happy with that, you know. Starting to build up a little community. Hoping to get some Swedish subscribers soon. Maybe meet some people in the local area, who knows. But thanks very much for watching. Cheers.
But it is seriously blowing down here in Kristianopel. We really struggled to get in here last night, as you can probably tell by the last little clip. I think it's going to be quite easy to get off the dock though. I'm going to go for the plan of holding the bow line and getting the stern line ready to release, releasing the bow, then the stern, and it should just drift out and we should just go out into the harbour. If I just go and walk into the harbour down here, you can see how narrow it was last night in the manoeuvrability, and we didn't have long enough lines on the back to take the boat back in. So now this time we just need to be really prepared, to be honest. Fenders all over the place, and just have a really good plan for getting out, because I reckon it's best if we can get out and make a little bit of headway today. It's going to be a little bit better. We're not going to be stressed in getting the last bit in too soon, and the winds are due to drop later on as well, so there's some spitting all over the place. So my only worry is when I come out, I need to go around these boys. I need to go around the last buoy around there, so I need to take a wide angle turn and then come straight out with a bit of power, because the gap is not a lot. And then we do some more beating into it out there. It doesn't look like a lot, but as soon as you get out into the channel, the waves are going to be pretty bad, to be honest. But we need to make some ground either way. Hey, honey.
Hey. Oh, wow. It's a beautiful place, but oh my god, it's windy.
It's windy as hell, and like I said, we've got a plan to get out.
You have a plan, but I'm not so comfortable as you are, I think. But as long as you're comfortable, I will go with whatever the plan is and just do what we need to do.
Yeah.
But I do think it's going to be tricky.
Once the boat's moving, it's going to be okay. It's just when the boats stop, that's when the problems happen. So here she is, being blown out like hell. I mean, we've got about 6 lines round her at the moment. It's quite a lot.
I'm gonna go in and start getting ready and get everything stored away, because it's gonna be a bumpy ride. And then I'm gonna call the next marina to make sure that we can fuel, because this marina doesn't have any fuel. They haven't opened for the season, so they haven't filled up the diesel tank yet. So I'm just gonna call ahead to ensure that we can actually fuel in the next marina.
successful outing of the harbour. Good job, guys. Good job. Just coming up towards Kalmar now. I've been motoring all day from Christiansø, so getting there. Just ahead up there. If you can see that.
Oh, he lost the fender.
Get the boat hook.
Get the boat hook. It's in there. Oh my God, where? Set the boat, bro.
Dad, can you help Mariana get the boat hook out? Close enough?
Yeah, stop, Chris.
Yeah, stop.
Stop. Don't fall overboard.
Okay. I don't think we could have gone through those boys down there and come round.
I can't see anything. I'm relying on you guys because I can't see that much.
Slow down.
Goes into the corner over there.
Can't we go on the port side here? Yeah, we're going here on the port side. I'll just have to turn it around down here.